le sone se gongwe re tse go gone go re lebile gone gore thata e bile ga o e lebella o tsenya litho gape mo teng o ithele gore me mo bananeng bone ba ileng gore gantsi ba mega ke bone ba itheleng go bidwa go te AWYG e leng adolescents, young girls and women e le bona ba ileng gore o ithela e le gore mogare wa HIV o ka re o ba ama thata kganye e dira ke
I think when we look at bomme, they're a very vulnerable group. Vulnerability in the sense that the world succumbs us to a lot of things. One, I just finished school and maybe I'm unemployed. Or unfortunately, I got pregnant during the way, and which means I had to break and now I have nothing to do for myself. So what do? Then I get exposed to a world where the most I could do for myself is what? Get into things like transitional sex, where transitional relationships, because now right? Next thing I am doing, I'm engaging in unprotected sex because the people that I'm transitioning with don't want to use condoms. They don't want to use protection. So I get to a point where now I don't have much say because I'm more vulnerable because but I need to fend for myself, or I need to fend for the child that I was able to give birth to at a very younger age, right? So that could be the first thing to say. We face so many issues as young women, most of them being economic issues that then lead to us having to make decisions that we don't necessarily want to make, but situations make us do those things.
You think?
Honestly, I feel like the reason why we're so vulnerable is because of the system, right? We have no choice in how we live our lives, right? As she said, we're talking about women who have financial issues, right? But then we also have young women and girls who are living right, who have been provided a good livelihood by their parents, but then once they get to places like towns and cities, because they want to get influenced into that, they want to seem cool, they start engaging in such things, right? We're talking about the nightlife. Nowadays, it looks like it's a trend, you know, to be out there on a Friday, from Friday to Sunday, right? But for you to be able to sustain that type of livelihood or lifestyle, you have to have money. And where do they get that money? They get that money from the older men who are there to provide the money. But obviously, nothing is for free. So in exchange for that money, you have to give up your body. And with that, if we mix the alcohol, the partying, the drugs, and the men, there is no way a condom can be used, to be honest. Because as a girl, if you're drunk at the end of the night and you find a man and you feel like, okay, because this man has bought me drinks, I was in the VIP, right? Obviously, once he says we're going home, you can't say no because you feel like you owe that person something. So they end up going to this person's place and they're intoxicated. They have literally they have no ability to say no to anything. So a lot of young women and young girls, especially in cities, Gaborone right now, they're living that type of livelihood, and it has nothing but negative impacts.
So what I'm most entitled for dilo tseo ka re ra di piletsa mo go rona. Ga gona tsela e leng gore gongwe o ka leka go thibela jalo gore ngwe ikgape mo go tsheleng botshelo jone jo ileng gore ngo ta bo hitela mo Gaborone. I think so se le gore se tswa bogologolong le dibuka tsa ne di balwa ko sekolong kwana no khana di thela buka e bua ka ha ileng gore motho ha ya go tsena go toropong wa hetoga sa tha e nna ene se makaleng ngone ngatswa ko Mothibi kwane ya no go batla go ikamanya le tse di mo toropong gona le kgonagalo mme ya gore o iketse gono ho wena o itlhaloganye pele gore nna ke mang e bile ha ile gore ke tsile kwano ka tsa sekwele ka bo ke tsa sekwele seng gape.
To be honest, I feel like people have options, you understand? We have a girl who feels like she's lazy, she doesn't want to hustle, she doesn't want to do anything, she wants to get that 1,000 pula free. She wants that 1,000 pula today to go buy a wig, you understand? So you can't just get money freely like that. So you have an option. It's either you work hard for your money or you're going to lay on your back. You understand? But also, if you choose to lay on your back, you should be able to take accountability for yourself and make sure that you're not going to mix, you're not going to mix alcohol and drugs and so many other things. Because we do have the hustlers who are selling their bodies, but they do it wisely, you know. So please protect yourself if that is your game. But then at the end of the day, you have to look at your long-term vision, your health, because we have HIV, we have STIs that do not have a cure. There are STIs that affect you way harder than HIV and AIDS, you understand? No one is trying to get herpes at the end of the day. So you have to look at what will benefit you most, because hustling, yes, it's hard, but then you are going to reach your goal. If you are consistent, you are. Myself, I was a tertiary student. 5 years I was there. I saw so many things. I desired so many things. I met different people. But then I know that how good it feels to have your own money. When you make your own money, you spend it wisely. And you spend it the way you want to. You understand?
Interacting with the young people, conversations obviously this transactional sex banana ba bona ele so se ileng gore ba ka tswela jalo ba se dira me ba sa bone phoso epe mo go
basically going into transactional sex comes as we feel that it's peer pressure. Youth are trying to live up to standards they can't afford. A friend has this and that, they don't have that. Now for them to like get to that level, it's for them to like go into transactional sex to be able to get the things that they do not have in that moment. So yeah.
And then hono ho harle bile me ka mo go ba telling mogong go go tsama ka teng ke tabo ke go nela se ileng gore kwa se go nela jalo ga se gore gongwe mme go tswa le ka ileng gore tshwantse re bone gore re thopa jang batho ba ba re dikaganyeditseng. Because if it all is going to come to kanyane ya gore re na le influence ileng gore in na teng ga se gore mme ke mo khande ke simolle go tsamaya lo ileng gore o ka tsamaya ampaseng se se botoka.
You know, when you speak of circles, Bakang, it's something that is very, it's mostly it's a sensitive topic to say, I've known this person for quite a very long time. It's only me, Miliko, go primary school, and I think she's the only friend that I have. So when she does something, I think it's the best thing to do. So I'm thinking maybe this is how friendship is about, it's supposed to be. Honestly, it gets lonely as a person. We all know that being alone, nobody wants to be alone, right? So not having friends and you feel like you don't live up to that standard. But I think it's very important for you to be self-aware as a person and understand what you want and where you're going to in life. Because if you don't, you don't want to be involved in. So if you know that I am Mpho, I want to see myself here in the next 5 years, you are able to say no and to say keshapo to the things you don't want to do. But if you're going to continue to say, you know what, I want to be that girl, what do you weave? I want to be that girl who continues to be, you know, the gaps girl, and I'm going to hang with the big boys. I want to be. It's okay. You know, I'm not saying, I'm not disputing that we have different lifestyles, and I'm not disputing that we have different ways of doing things. But it's very important for you to be very cautious when you do things. That's why I think later in the commission we speak on things like PrEP, whereby if you are going to be doing all these things, at least take care of yourself at the bare minimum.
Me are being ke a go itse jang re gola re thela gona le go betcha ke a go itse jang gore go mo ke ka win ke betchetswa there's a term girlfriend allowance, boyfriend allowance. We differentiate that jango no ho janong gore moya bele hela forever and I am young tata ampa that appreciation and then that incentive or gift elong gore wa ba empire and ga go re le gore ke a bo ke expect gore a ke nne le sengwe se leng gore se bua mo ge.
Honestly, I believe it should come between both the couple should sit down and they should understand each other.
Re no ka re busetsa ka ha se tswane laut gore re khona re tsengele ba bangwe gape ba tlhaloganya sentle.
We should understand each other in a way that I need money for my nails, you don't need anything in return, right? It should be a way of nna ke ntsha ha ke ntshang teng le wena o ntsha ha o ntshang teng o mpha madi ke go ha madi at a later stage e ska nna kgang ya gore all the time when you give me money I should also give you my body. You should relate, you should sit down, talk about it and get to le wela kgang ya teng sentle.
Sente go ya transactional sex e diragala mo bathong ba ba lekanang ba le mo mojolong khotsaneng e tshwantse gore e be nna across the different age gaps.
Tota, I feel like tota go na le different levels to this. Wa bona go na le batho ba ileng gore o mongwe e ta ba ile re o motona a reka go na le go rekiwang teng wa bona tla ba reka a ntsa re bona baby girl ke na le 500 pula mosadi a ba tsena mo koloing akere and usually ke mosadi who's young akere e be go nna le khanya ko di eventing di party di bar gono ko usually hela bana ba na le madi ya go reka majalo a mantsintsi right ke bana ba batona right so bana ba tona ba to ba tsa tafuleo e ba tsa bonnananyana ma 2000 go le biza kere ele trendy tata bakete monna tata bakete and then after wa expect gore eno na matalanta a duelle dibiri tsone tseo and we tell gore bona ba who are going to ba bone borre ba banyane because I cannot be 23 ke bereka and then taba ke go Pennywise be ke batla gore ke nwe monna wa tlhaloganya me ke na le 1.2 mo spatching we tell gore ke bana ba ileng gore tertiary ba ileng gore ba hitse form 5 le ma form 3 they are doing this already because we na le establishments e le di letala gore bana ba nyane ba kgone go tsena ba reka bojalwa ha ke re ga ba tsene ka bo mang ga gona proof ga gona receipt so e tell gore they are bone bana ba tona tota hesh danger
I think Mobotsana or everywhere hela, we have a culture which is called blesser blessee culture. And then blesser blessee culture we tell the blesser is the one you're dominant. You're nanle madi, you're go redeem. And it happens amongst even for boys, young boys. Or you tell her ngwana wa mosita ate ngwana wa mosimane o irang ona le blesser. Blessera ele enemme yo motona yo I get so itela gore mo motona yo go finance a lifestyle ya gagwe o Muhammadi o irang and then ngwana mosimane le ene khatlele re mona ko ka ile gore he's engaging in all those things with that lady. So the bless and blessee culture, it just exists within our setup and most of the time the one with money is the one who's dominant and highly dominant ena kana go lora ha re thako sa go golla thako sa gago ha re say ha re jump since re motse gore how high
what other trends le gore di teng ke itse gore le ha ba dilwe ke di scandal tsa di exam metor ha ba ya go hetsa di exam ha be go nna le di party go nna mezwane gore ba itumela gore ngwaga wa bohedile e se bone hela re tsena mo seasoning ye nngwe le gore le gona na ha o le ba mo social media go buiwa ka ditutse ga December as if it's a public holiday nngwe mo ileng gore a lot is going to be happening mo go tsonetse go mo dirwa ke eng are we being too casual ka kgang tsa HIV and AIDS ka dikgang tsa go sa ithokomele ka dikgang tsa go dirisa dino phetelela gongwe ke gone ha ileng gore re iphitlhela re le mo semong se ileng gore ga go sa thogotsewa tsia HIV and AIDS jaaka gongwe bogologolo ga le ne tsewa tsia ka teng
I feel gore as the youth were too relaxed ka kganya HIV and AIDS we don't fear HIV and AIDS ya kana go dira bogologolo we take it for granted if I might say looking at the fact that ra gona majalwa ditagi we don't consider what may happen in the case that one blacks out kana ke gone go ha ileng gore ba to go dirisa botlhaswa teng when you're not aware of what's happening around you so I guess gore ke yone kganya teng ya gore re tsalo le ya kganya gore HIV and AIDS e teng ya tshela and it's very dangerous
these upcoming trends that thing is there a way e leng gore re ka di hema ka teng gore se ka re bitela re di hitele ka tsele leng gore itsa madi re hitela ka teng
I would encourage I'm not disputing the fact that we should have fun, ready partying. Kanya gore take care of yourself, have friends you can trust around you. Le ha malatsing a gona le kgantsa gore respect kana alcoholic drinks. But let's protect ourselves. Ha re eliminate thing.
And mo le go le gore khantela ha o bua ke a ke utwa ke gopola gore mme kana o tabotse re bone ditsala tse tshwana le wena le tsala for so many years ga le tsena kwa kwena ile gore you take one for the team.
Obana mo, it's called the scavenger life. As much as rona le banna ba ikaeletseng gore every weekend ba go reka go a le bo me ba ile gore ba ikaeletse gore ba go batla moreki wa tla ke market ke economy hela in its own ya no economy yone obviously na le dilonyana tse teng di side effects di what which is what is contributing to a high rise in new infections HIV and AIDS ya no bo me ba ile gore ke di scavenger ke re tshwantse re o itebelle gore ke tabele wena le mo rumong le reo e tabele wena a go tsentse mo khoning a go ra re na ke apare se kausu. What are you going to do? How tsena ke mogari and your friends find out you don't know how you are going to feel about yourself. You don't know how your life is going to change. You don't know if you're going to end up resenting your friends for that. So you should understand that the responsibility is on you. If you're taking one for the team, know that you're taking one for yourself. You are sacrificing your body, your entity, your substance for other people who have their own lives. And I would just discourage that behavior, because you cannot be out here trying to mother the nation with your body. That is wild.
Fantastic. Tare re khwitsa ha ra saka karata re tsala re tsa karolo o bedi ya thulaganya rena ya moso wa gompieno ya the Jenny Mothibi re tsama ha re buisana ka dilo tse dingwe tse le gore tsa majalo di diragala ha re lebile thato ene khanyane ya HIV and AIDS ile khaile gore boitsholo jwa rona re le banana re tsama re itshwara ka teng a re go ikhutsa ha re tswa ka kwa re taba re tsa karolo bedi ya thulaganya ya moso wa gompieno.
Welcome to beautiful Botswana, where the warmth of her people and wildlife is welcoming, where the vibrancy of her land echoes in the unforgettable voices of her people. Come and see Botswana in her splendor, a place to live, work, and invest. Botswana, our pride, your destination.
The 12th Ngwenya Music Awards. Get ready.
On December 16th, we celebrate the best in the world of entertainment across Botswana.
Who will take home the prestigious award? Mark your calendars now for December 16th.
Stay glued to our social media for more details. #MusicBeyond.
The 12th Ngwenya Music Awards. Music Beyond.
With DSTV Botswana, there's no telling just what kind of magic will drop into your home this festive when you upgrade to the DSTV Compact or Compact Plus package on us. Stay connected and explore fresh new content to keep the family entertained. From the UEFA Champions League to the best in African and international entertainment. And don't forget, you can take your entertainment with you wherever you go with DSTV Stream. Because this season, home is wherever you are. DSTV, it's your moment.
Motho tsa ke bo gape ke go amogela jalo mo thulaganyong ya rona ya moswa gompieno thulaganyo ya the Jenny re tshwere kgang ha re buisana ka dikgang tse ileng gore gangwe le gape re le banana re di tsenya mo go tsone tse ileng gore ka tsama di re baka ha mosing ha go ta mo kganyeng ya HIV AIDS re lebile jalo gone gore e tare December 1 gore ga bo go lebile jalo letsatsi lone la magatse la World AIDS Day e le khaileng gore bata gore re tsame re tsa ka le ka teng stoko ka teng gore mentwa e leng gore re tsama re lwa ya go hedisa yone mogare wa HIV o leng gore wa tshelwana jalo ka ngwaga wa 2030 a ke tso se leng gore re ta se khona re le hatse ha ile gore re le banana ba ileng gore tshwantse gore ebe khanye re libile ka litho le le ntshotsho ebe ile gore ke rona ba ileng gore re tsama jalo re dira gone gore dikgantse di tsame jalo dintsi di kekela ibile ga ke bua ka gone gore re le banana gona le gore ebe re ka dirisa mahoko mangwe gongwe re kgathana me mo gongwe ha ka go lebella o ta ithela ile gore me you're pitting yourself o ipa mo pepeneneng goreng ebe o na an easy target you know go na le dikgang tse teleng go te go ikapela di rice go tsaya merogo rwadi bo mae a ita go reng and that comes out as a joke but me to someone it's inviting and that moment how you invite that's when go hela dilo tlhakatlhakana ka teng.
All right, I think there's a saying that trends a lot, yeah. You know, and then a gentleman is there looking at you to say, I'm a robaban. So he comes in and then he wants you to come. So how but she said I should come get
Weekend
you.
special.
You know, so when you're like, no, but it was a joke. I'm not willing to have sex with you. And they take that as a yes. The fact that you're able to say that in the first place to them is already consent. You know, and people need to understand that consent is even during the deed, during the action. I can tell you, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore, and you're allowed to stop, right? So we joke a lot, Bakang, and I'm not saying it's wrong for us to joke. It's fine, we can joke, but we need to look at how the third person or the second person is going to take that joke. When I say tawi kapele rice, when someone says tawi kapele rice, and then you said, okay, you know what, I'm going to go to this guy's house. Kana rice, hagotewe rice. You know, and there are so many circumstances. As young people, we always believe that, you know, some of us have, I don't know how to put it, but how hey, you know, like that's me. That's, you know, and it becomes a condition of, okay, what if the other person doesn't want that? But when I because you're in someone's space and you feel like if say you know in that space, you don't know what's going to happen to you. Someone might decide, you know what, I'm going to kill this person. Just because you don't want to do that particular thing, right? So I'm saying, we're young people, yes, YOLO, you live once, let's have fun. But guys, we need to be very cautious of the messaging that we put out there because there are so many people they have different mindsets, you know. So you feel like we can do it.
the targets e leng gore re di ipetse gona na go lebega o ka re the reduction in ile teng mo go tsameng go e go itestiwa for HIV and AIDS ko makalaneng a e leng gore go itestiwa teng and ga go ntse jalo ke ipotsa gore this HIV ga re hitisetsa go batho ba bangwe ke ba le kae ba e leng gore bao ba itse mme se mo sone seo se leng gore ba mo go sone sa botsogo go ruta bo helle jalo wa go togela motho a ya go e ralla hela jalo because o setsa go rogile kwa lente
Tota, I feel like if you ha le motho e leng gore o sexually active, you should also be active in checking your status. With a lo gore motho khatatsu ke gona testang ka gore they had sex, they had raw sex, kana they find out the person they had raw sex with is on PrEP, or they find out this person has 10 girlfriends, and then because of that fear, that's when I test. And then after 5 years hard testing. But anything can happen. Condom is not even 100%. You understand? So you must always make sure that you test and always make sure that you protect yourself. Hey.
Yeah.
I think we trust and and I feel like, you know what, this is the one. So I think that's the biggest mistake we make as young people, to say you look at someone and you assume that status, right? I think one thing that is very important is the self-test kit malady. So you feel like when you're going to get into some sort of relation with someone, at least the chance so before I get to December not about December at least it's December at the very least.
Tender are you me gona le khaileng gore me o ka tsama jalo o itshireletsa mo go lekeng go bona gone gore me ntse o ka ipithaela gore ya ka bua o motho e leng gore already you're sexually active and me o bata gore o itshireletse ke dio tse leng gore o ka thokana le gore ebe o ka itse ka tsone mo nakong ya go mpene go tsane o ka nna le tsone o le monana gore o to o itshireletse kgathone le gone go tsana kona mogare wa HIV.
If you are sexually active, go bofa, we have PrEP, which is offered to the youth. It helps you have been exposed to someone who's HIV positive. You take it so that when you prevent yourself from being infected with HIV. We have readily available condoms. They are also given to everyone free of charge. Yes.
Yeah. Getting access to them. One, two, stigma e leng gore gongwe ka nna around mekganyene. Let's get one of the local artists a postile gone gore tabe ro tsena go shopong kwa o ya go reka condom ele ebe ba ba go rekisetsang ba sa go lebe sente gone ho. How do we destigmatize the use of these consumables e leng gore ra go tlhokana le tsone re le bana?
Yeah, and it's true that the stigma is still there and it's still a lot, especially ole monana o tsana mo shopong getting a box of condoms ko morago ele motsadi a go libile ke gore you feel gore batho ba go libile and o hella o tlogela seno ru tlo go sereka. So yes, the stigma is there, but to overcome that ke feel gore we should venture into ke gore find other means of getting those in from non-governmental organizations, say they provide them to free of charge. Just
in other parts of Botswana. Kilibile jalo gone gore World AIDS Day ka la botlhano yana go bata ba le gone ka ko nata. Mme wa go ithela gore le gone ka kwa ke le gore ditamelo tse ba di thoka ba itse thata go le kahe ka tsone le gore tiriswa tsone entse jang ba ka di bona ko kae le ka di atumetsa ko go bone ka tsela entse jang le mekgatho go ngwe tshwana le bone bo Inspired Horizon ya.
All right. I think there's still a lot of work to be done, Bakang. You would go to the remotest areas, just ARV, it's very difficult, or you have to queue the whole day to get that, right? So we think there's a lot that we still need to do as different stakeholders and hold hands and champion the messaging at HIV. So you'd go to the most remote area, or 13 years old is pregnant, they're HIV positive, because they don't have these services. And it's so nice to see it on picture and on paper to say we are doing our best, but we're doing our best only within the city and at the cost of other people. That's why when we go there, we don't even know the prevalence, because they don't even go for testing, and the first place, the smallest thing like testing, it's so difficult to access. So I think there's so much work that we still need to do as a country in trying to make sure that we send the messaging out there.
These transactional relationships ke go tanka ka checkase ke gona ha ileng gore jaanong go nna le dingalto
erra wa go thela gore kana res mamma ke ena re tlhokomelang as a family, so ka gore wa re tlhokomela, we are not going to go against what he wants again. So I think messaging lo no important gore we need to capacitate batsadi kwa lapeng le bone go nne ha tse le bone ba rutuntshiwe gore kana ya ngwana wa transition from a 13-year-old to an 18-year-old, I am now prone to a lot of things. It's still there in our culture. There are different cultures and all that. So I think it still goes back to saying, because we are as a nation, we have a mindset change campaign that is going on. So I think this is the chance where we need to go in there. Change the way the way we deal with these issues, the HIV. Kids are being spoken to HIV but she can't start which is a very problematic thing.
Is this taboo?
Is it?
Is it taboo to talk about
To be honest, most of our rural areas and settlements are still way back. We have schools of broad clinics, some have TVs and radios, but then still we have the older generation still keeping to the taboos and the rituals and the initiations and the myths. The reason why there are a lot of myths still alive right now is because of the old people who began, who started those myths and are still continuing with it. Yeah, no, we have to look at the crisis that we are in. If we have so much disease in the country, you understand, everyone should want to participate in dealing with it, from the parent to the child, you understand. So you as a parent, you must be responsible enough to take your child, sit down. I don't care how uncomfortable or how awkward it is, kana feel gore ngwana wa go roga o tshwantse go ruta ngwana ha ho sa mo ruti o ta rutwa ke mang khantele o ta ba ya kwa aba go imiswa ke motho o bo mo shapa a kere kana o feel gore o le disappointed le mo family mme kwa no mmona a tswa every night o tsaba go bua lene o bereka hela go mo shapa mo sa monse gore you are destroying yourself, you are destroying your life. Wait, tshwantse go itse gore go nne 1 2 3 4 5 le basimane ba togelwa gore ba le ko masimo go tetse basimane ba ile gore ba disa ha ba le ko at the moment they turn of age, both 16, I get to work about puberty, they look at the next girl. And we tell you there is no monitoring but they do things incest, a lot of incest cases, bo defilement, there are predators. Our community, we need to start coming back and start protecting our children. Yes.
Just the family structure in our communities. Are we being good role models, or do we have good role models in those that come before us?
It depends on the families, how they do things in that family. What I would advise is kind of mindset change as people, as families. Change the way we think, change the way we pursue sex. We should teach our children sex and all the issues around it. What
would you say is the easy way to start introducing kanyate? It is soapy what could be the casual way of bringing it out? Serious.
Not that I feel like the best way to do it, just bring the condom, put it on the table, call your child, Nana, what is this? You have to first find out what the child knows. I get the knowledge that he or she has about condom you knew, and then when bereka khubanganya onzu o eda mogone because it's weird but you have to do it at the end of the day. So ela ba condom you we be gono kana the pill kana contraceptive kana anything la le pamphlet if make sure gore wa molla gore ya go visit a clinic ke le ha le go na di pamphlet kana o mona di pamphlet a ya go bala ko aba boa a go botse dipotso gore wena ska bua thata.
Do you have the talk? What if you tell the talk? Do you have that talk? And what would be the age back then?
For me, I'll use myself as an example. When I started varsity, I have an older brother. He's very overprotective. I get someone like varsity. My older brother bought me a pack of condoms. My mom was in the sitting, and my older brother came in with them and said, "Nak, go you be banaba." He's like, "Go you be do diary." So my mom is side eyeing him to say, "Kantano, mister." That's when, for the first time in my life, I had the talk with my mom. Imagine now I'm 17, going to 18, I'm going to varsity, and I've never in any single day sat down with my mom to say, "Mama, can I really It was so awkward. But that was just to bring in context to say there is no age to it, and I think parents are in denial that their kids their kids are growing up. So I think there is no easy way to go about it, or there is no formula to say this is how you should do it. But at some point it has to be done. And I think now, because we live in an era where kids are exposed to so many things, right? They're watching God knows what, right? So I think it comes to a point where, as young as they are, when or 10 years old, you're able to sit down with them and say, Nana, when someone touches touches you where you don't want, this is what you're supposed to do. Now when someone does, like you warm them up to it. You don't have to come and just bombard them with just too much information. No, but at stages, right? I'm 10 years old. I'm being taught, no, nobody can touch my hand when I don't want. I'm being taught just gradually, right? Then eventually it gets to a point where it's a culture that is being dealt in, and we're able to talk about these things.
And then just as young people, creating safe spaces ko ileng goreng re ka hela re bona gore dikgang tse re di bua ka tsone gongwe bile le ka makana na lona ka bongwe hela ja lona goreng le dira jang goreng le kgone le he banana tshono ya goreng ba kgone ba te ba tse kitso yone e tere kgone re arogane jalo about different experiences or maybe how we are overcoming it, because banana, and you always need to go to the next person. We'll just go this way.
At BOFA, we provide counseling services, which is free of charge. You can call or just walk in. They are offered for free, where you can offload, just talk to the counselor one-on-one and get to share your whatever is weighing on you.
Confidentially,
no, in counseling, there is a contract, there are confidentiality, so it cannot be broken. Whatever you share with the counselor stays with the counselor. So confidentiality is guaranteed.
All right.
Okay, so also at BOFA, we believe in peer-to-peer education. So we have platforms that create a space for the youth to talk by themselves, discuss, ask questions and answer questions. So we have a podcast. It is called the Young Health Podcast, the Young Health Podcast. It's there. It has a lot of episodes. I'm there also. So you will find episodes where we're talking about anything in relation to the sexual health of the young person. So you get there, make sure that you subscribe, make sure you can ask any question, we'll get back to you. But then with that's where we've created a safe space for anyone who's young, who does not know what to do, who has a lot of questions left unanswered to come forth.
Even just the packaging our message do you think our campaigns targeted to what's banana targeted?
Tota, I feel like we still have a long way to go because I believe in benchmarking. If you cannot do the most, then try and see what you can learn from someone who's doing the most. It's been a long time. The body, the NGO did the outreach time and time again, but they use the same methods, the same boards, the same. But then you have to relate to the people, relate to the youth, use youth language to get to them. And I think us as BOFA through YAM, we are really trying to get there. That's why we started the podcast, which is on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Bakang. At Inspired Horizons, we have different programs. Right. We have one which is called Khodisa. Khodisa is particularly for young mothers. What we do is we offer home visitations to these young mothers as a way of giving them psychosocial support. So if that young mother needs a counselor, the counselor at the comfort of their home. If they want to report maybe GBV, they're able to report at the comfort of their home. If they want to learn about infant child, at the comfort of their home. This is to say but in an English version of doing butsetsi. Because particularly when you're home, you don't have access to a lot of services. Maybe you're homebound for 6 months or 3 months, but at that particular juncture, you don't have access to services, so we allow you those things, right? And then 2, we have what is called Esmajita. So you know that young men are people who don't speak a lot, that are particularly very engaged and they don't want to express their feelings. So what we do is we do as Majita safe space sessions where young men come in, they sit down and we speak on issues that affect them. You know, all those things, because we allow them to be able to speak, but we don't just speak. From there, we link them to services. Do they want to go for counseling? We take them for counseling. Do you want to go for testing? We take them for testing. But in a nutshell, what we do is we amplify the voices of young people, particularly young girls and young women that have been seen as a vulnerable group. So we have some of these different programs which are designed in trying to make sure that at the end of the day, their voices are being heard.
I mean, go yeng ko ditamelong tseo go ka nna dingalo re tshwana malatsing wa bona are you trying to find ways say long goreng le ka ba tumela motho goreng that information e go bona
Boffa is situated in phase 4, but to cover most areas of the country, we are also in other areas, both Francistown, Maung, Warko, Kanye. Then in what we do is we conduct outreaches to bring services to the people. So you can catch us on, you can follow us on our Facebook page so that you know where we are at what time. Relay to different varsity schools to bring services to the youth so that they are able to ask questions, get to know what is available and how they can work with what we have.
But how is the uptake of these services? Tse long gore letsa maledi ha bone banana boneba. Really bile gore kana go bua ka tswa ena something else me ga ke tsena ka ha ke a go go bofe be ke a go taka box ile kana di condom. Ga ke tsena kwa ke tsa ke ba ha libile khantele di a thela mola ha tse me a tsore di a thela Lindiwe na le stock sa teng ko storeroom.
Particularly what we do is we sit down, we talk to the youth, we tell them how to use the contraceptives, because we have the
loop?
No, it's the
IV?
The implant.
The implant.
Yes.
We have implant offered at Boffa. So what we do is we sit down first, talk to them, tell them how those different contraceptives are used, then the take-home part is on the client.
Your take?
Well, sometimes, most times, what we do is that when we go for outreach, right, there's a registration form where you fill in. And then for research purposes and referral purposes, we try to call back, ask were you handled well, because there's a growing case of stigma from professionals, the people who are helping you, so we want that. We want a suggestion box sort of area where these people, the youth can come back to us as Boffa and say, no, please improve your service, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or no, I was told 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or please clarify here. So there's that go and from relationship between us and our service.
How does similar conversations we did mention se se hela se gongwe se dirwa ke gone gore banana a bungutsa rona ga rena ditiro ga re bereke in your programming and initiatives ga le se le tekame thale ile eng gore re ka bona ka ha ile eng gore we could get to empower let's start with the girl child please gore a khone a ikemele a le nosi a itse gore madi ke a gago e bile madi a lekane a se ileng gore ke sa gago ga se mo go teng ke madi a mele a ro mongwe tatanga a nela.
All right. One, we have a program which is called Rising Moms. Rising Moms is an entrepreneurship program for young women who have children. Right. So what we do is it's in 2 parts. 1, there's the entrepreneurship side of it, and then 2, there's the job readiness part of it. Not every one of us wants to be an entrepreneur, right? So for the entrepreneurship part of it is we take them through entrepreneurship master classes. We teach them how to be an entrepreneur. We help them come up with proposals, how to write, how to apply for funding and all that. Then there's the job readiness part of it. If you just finished school and you want to get ready for work. How do you write your CVs? How do you write your cover letters? How do you get ready for an interview? How do you position yourself in the corporate space, right? And then we also have one which is called Bridging the Gap and Amplifying the Voice. It is also like an entrepreneurship program, but now it's for all young people. to say, come in, have your master classes, come in, have sessions with your mentors and all that. So we link them to different mentors. Say maybe Mpho, I want to go into television. We bring back Ang to take me through 2-3 months mentorship program. And then from there, they're able to link me to that network and see how I'm able to create, implement, and money for myself.
Yeah. And then I was having a conversation with a group of students the other day, and our topic in the is empowering the girl child with these different programs that didn't think disempowerment to the boy child.
What we do, we try and balance. Empowering the girl child, yes, it's a vulnerable group of people. We also try to empower the boy child as well. So we, as much as we advocate for the girl child's voice, we try to like fit into the boy child's life.
Because I want to tell if, and then one of the students said out, if we are teaching the girl child to protect themselves against perpetrators, but rape and all of that, why don't you then have a program for boys that is teaching boys not to rape?
Not to rape.
Hey.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, you're teaching motho wa mme gore a itshireletse jang mme motho e leng gore ke ene a dirang ditiro tseo ene mme ga o mo rute gore a emise jang ditiro tsone tseo. It's empowering the girl child, it is empowerment to the boy child.
I mean, there's an NGO called From Boys to Men. And they thought that they're there for the boys. They're there for the boys. And I feel like in terms of like what you were saying, it would go back to them respecting, you know, a person, hella, knowing that, you know, it's a crime, you know, for them to be learned and have that awareness. So I feel like the awareness, you are equal as another woman. If you do this, these are the repercussions. But then also even in schools, you know, we have moral education. You know, they learn about that. They know what crime is. Unless we're talking about rehabilitation of like people who have actually raped, which happens in prison.
I think when we speak of women empowerment, we need to take it back to where it comes from. To say the reason why in the first place there was something called women empowerment was because we're seeing a gap, right? A gap that we're trying to bridge and to narrow down. So obviously, even today, I mean, it's very, like you can argue that, but guys are still at par than girls. And we still need to take girls a little step higher so that they're at par, right? So the conversation always comes to say, are you leaving the boy child behind? But we're saying we're not leaving the boy child behind. We're just pushing the girl child a little bit so that she can reach where the boy child is, and then we take them together, right? So the conversation is always there. It's always counter-nice magic that there's nothing for us, but we're saying, then we take the both of you somewhere.
Is there, and I'm going to ask this to all of you, is there maybe a feel in some sort of way when it comes to these issues, our mental health issues? One, you'd have a low self-esteem. Two, it would lead you to get to body depression. At some point, you are fully cautious.
I believe working with different youth as me, it brings out the best of me. If I'm with MJ like this, MJ is a bubbly person and I'm a very quiet person. I'm very reserved. So if I come together with MJ, she brings out that lightness, that brightness in me. So I feel working together as the youth, it brings out the best in another person.
How do you get to love yourself before you get to find love from somebody else?
You have to tear yourself apart and then rebuild yourself again. And then that's when you'll love yourself, and then you'll know how to love the next person. If you don't deal with your traumas, it be family, it be sexual traumas, it be any trauma, you have to deal with that trauma first and accept yourself for who you are. Appreciate yourself, then you love yourself, then you love the next person.
I think we seek so much validation.
Yes.
I want to be told I'm pretty. I want to be told I have the perfect body and all that. To a point where now I'm going to go out there and sleep with just anybody, for example, because I want to feel good about myself, right? So I think the most important thing that I'll keep stretching is being self-aware and learning that you need to self-actualize as a person. Understand yourself, understand what you want and all that. Guys, it's not easy. Mental health is a topic that we don't want to speak about, like many times we shy away from. But it's so hard. There are days where you just want to lock yourself in the room and not speak to anybody. And it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to have those days sometimes. But also it's upon you to say, when you fall, you're going to stand up again and you're going to go out there and seek for help. You're going to talk to somebody, you're going to go for counseling, you're going to do literally anything that's going to help you with your mental health.
But taking the first step, normally, heart is not easy to take that first step. Counseling free confidential phase 4 takes a lot. Guts. The process normally
You know, denial is a if you deny yourself you're not okay, you are denying yourself from being okay. So it first starts with you accepting oh yeah, I'm not okay, so that you are willing to go and seek for help. So if you accept you're not okay, you get help and you work on yourself and better yourself.
Yeah, how long would it take though?
I think before I answer that, one thing why people don't like going for counseling is forgive yourself.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a work in progress. You're not going to go there today and tomorrow you're going to be okay. You need to also be willing to put in the work. Put in the work is sometimes you're going to be told, you know what, Bakang, start journaling. And you're a very masculine man and you're like that's not me.
Dear diary.
Dear diary, you know? Yeah. So it's a way of, it's more of you as a person wanting to get the help. Because counselors will talk. Angels will stand in front of you and they will speak. But if you're not ready and if you're not willing to put in the work, then you won't do it. You can never be ready, yes, but you need to get to a point where if I don't do something about it, I can say I'm going down. So it's just about you being determined and just being accountable and being committed and just disciplined to what you're supposed to do. When you're told, Bakang, stop talking to that lady because she's the one that makes you keep going back. When I keep on so then you're not ready to actually heal and become a better version of yourself.
Anyway, let's get to this. I want you guys to think of a package. One, self-care package going into the festive season that you believe monana mongwe le mongwe o tshwantse gore ebe ana le yone. Weekend day tanyeri libileng
enkulu.
Weekend day one thing.
I'm so really busy.
My self-care package to monana kolapeng is that you should know yourself and know what you want.
Self-care package ya December oneo. Make sure you have a box of condoms. Make sure you have money to go back home. You're not stranded. Make sure you have money to drink on your own. That's it.
I also know
Yes. All right. I think mine is going to be a bit tedious. One might feel, hey, it's too much work. But one, guys, they're self-test kits. And they're very affordable if you want to buy one. And if you know that sometimes things happen, please get yourself a self-test kit. 2, if you know you're going to be exposed to HIV, and please go take your PrEP. It is free, it is accessible in all youth-friendly clinics, in all NGOs. Make sure you take your PrEP. 3, it is not a shame to carry a box of condoms. Carry that wherever you go. 4, guys, please buy lubrication. Saliva takes you to so many, next thing you have infections that then lead to many discomforts in your body and all that. Make sure you have your loop wherever you're going, carry it with you. And most important this one is very important. Let your yes be a yes and your no be a no.
True.
Don't do anything you don't want to do. And don't let anybody try to have overpower you. Like MJ was saying that, if anything, always have money. Because that's how people take charge of us. Finances.
Gone me anong ha re lebile mo semong se ileng gore you would find that maybe there is a lack thereof. Such facilities or provisions tse ileng gore di ka nna teng. Ke tsaela gore mo go ikgapha mo dileng tse tsothetse would be the number one thing that you really need to take.
ABC.
Yeah.
Abstinence, be faithful, condomize.
Yeah.
Right? If you really don't like the whole process of PrEP, wearing a condom, you don't even like people, just abstain, live your life. It's okay to be a virgin. Don't feel like you're pressured to break that hymen. Don't feel like you're pressured to tell your boys that you hate that. You understand? Wait until marriage. There are a lot of people who still are virgins because they're waiting for marriage, because they believe sex is sacred, and it is. You understand? So just abstain. Or be celibate, right? Or be faithful. There's no use of dating two or more people. For what? Because that's going to bring you stress and stress and stress. Money. Can't tell you are depressed because you have 5 women in your chat that are all wanting money. You understand? Can't tell you are depressed because you have a rotation of 5 men coming in and out of the house. It's an embarrassment. You understand? And then also, I was abstinence again, A. And then be faithful, condomize, guys. It's that STI is not worth it. Herpes is not worth it. HIV, it's not worth it. Just a round of real, I can tell you, it feels real. It feels, there's a condom maybe doing thin. Ultra thin. Go try that out before. All
right. Re kuto whenever ditsala tsaka ha re itse gore a tshao kholi ya bereka milliona ba ipa ke hela re pa bona gore gore ha go spike ya nebe neutralizing everything and all of that. Ha re sure gore ya bereka mme let's just be safe out there this festive season. Ke lebogele jalo gore ebe le na le rona mo thulaganyang ya tsatsi ela gompieno a re tere be khutlo gone fa motho e se thulaganya rona ya the journey ra go ifetsa ka tsela entseng hela jalo re ba gape re kopana mo bekeng e thankana kwa masome a mararo mora gona go ya borobo mo se ke the journey ke bira go te bakang thabise ke itumetse motho etso tsala sentle.
Get ready.
On December 16th, we celebrate the best in the world of entertainment across Botswana.
Who will take home the prestigious award? Mark your calendars now for December 16th.
Stay glued to our social media for more details. #MusicBeyond.
Music Beyond.
My name is Mokgweetsi Masisi. I am the current president of Botswana. I want to heartily welcome you to my country when you come to attend the Kusi Festival in December this year. And here you will find a warm-hearted people who will embrace you, welcome you as fellow Africans, and take you on a journey to discover our culture, our food, culinary delights, and our nature. Prolific as it is, we also have diamonds in abundance for a small fee. We also have the natural species that you might enjoy. And we have a people whose culture and whose politics, whose governance has resulted in Botswana being what it is now. Come here and find out who we are, and we'd love to have you.
Camera rolling. Rolling. And action.
Get ready to experience a world of imagination where entertainment comes to life like never before. YTV is now on DSTV Botswana channel 291. From your favorite talk shows, sports, news, and local dramas, we've got you covered. It's where entertainment lives and where your little stars aspire to be. Subscribe to DSTV Botswana from as low as 75 Pula to enjoy the best in local entertainment on YTV. DSTV channel 291. It's your moment.
Some beings live between two worlds. Even though they're trapped for life in one of them, they need to invade, if only for just a few minutes, the other side of the border, that other world to which they do not belong.